We're going to go over the Race to the Rescue passage from the Ready Reader book that they were supposed to finish on Wednesday and be ready to talk about. It's on page 66 and 67. It's a really good passage with about Balto, a famous sled dog that took an amazing journey. First question: which sentence from the passage best states the main idea of the article? And the answer is B. The team brought the medicine that would keep the children in Nome safe. And that's pretty much what the whole passage is about. It's about this sled team that is getting medicine and taking it to Nome because these kids are sick and they need this medicine. Question number 2, paragraph 2 says the trip from Anchorage to Nome was very hard. Explain why the trip was hard. Use details from paragraph 2 to support your answer. Okay, this trip was extremely hard, and they need to go back and read paragraph 2 to be able to answer this question. And some of the things that should be in this answer, and I always tell you guys, just a reminder to you guys that you need to make sure these lines are filled up. This is not just one sentence. This is not fill in the blank. This is sentences describing this. And somewhere in that description, you should have had things about the hard weather conditions, the snow, the ice, the mountains, the terrain. All of those are very key ideas that should have been included in your answer. And if they're not, go back and put them there now. The next question, number 3. Which sentence from the article best explains why it's important to get medicine to Nome quickly? And the key word is quickly in the question. And the answer is the disease was a serious threat to the children who lived there. And so quickly and serious are keywords that kind of help you figure out it needed to be done very fast. Number 4. And number 4 is sequence of events, where you kind of put things into order in the sequence that they happened. So in the winter of 1925, what happened? A terrible sickness broke out in Alaska. It's kind of where our story begins. What happened 6 days later? Balto's team brought medicine to Nome, and Balto is a very key character of the story. One day after the dog sled team arrived in Nome, a statue of Balto was built. 1 year after the dog sled team arrived in Nome, a statue of Balto was built. 4 decades after the race at Nome, the Alaskans organized a sled dog race. So they took the race to Nome and started working on a sled race. In 1973, the first Iditarod race was run. So it's kind of the sequence of events in the story, how the Balto race caused them to do other sled races in Alaska. All right, number 5, reread paragraph 5. It's asking them to go back, and it actually prints it here for us. Reporters wrote articles about the dog sled team and the heroic race to deliver the medicine to Nome. People all around the world read these reports in newspapers. They followed each leg of the journey. They became caught up in the drama that was taking place in Alaska. They cheered for the dog sled teams. How did the key details in the paragraph support its main idea? Well, we said the main idea was that they needed to get the medicine to these children. So the one that supports it the most is they explained how the dog sled teams became famous. The team with Balto became very famous. And 2 key things in this paragraph that let you know they became famous. There's a reporters wrote articles in the newspaper, and those articles were read around the world. All right, last question. This is one of the higher level questions that we do with vocabulary. We do vocabulary every day, and this is one of the reasons, because we're going to see it over and over and over again. Read the sentence from paragraph 8. Over 40 years later, people in Alaska wanted to honor the heroic race that brought the medicine to Nome. What does heroic mean in the context? And we said done with courage. Because we know heroes have courage. And if we think back to the team that sled team that brought the medicine to Nome, and we think to the harsh temperatures that they had to deal with, and the snow and the ice and the mountains. They were very heroic. They had a lot of courage in order to do this act. All right, this is checking the passage. And for your grade for this passage, because obviously I gave you the answers to the passage, I want you to go online on Canvas and you're going to answer a set of online questions about Balto. Who was Balto? Why was he important? And what happened because he was important? I'm going to place those on the Canvas page. If you answer those questions, it would be great. I hope that you enjoyed the story, Race to the Rescue, with the story of Balto. It's a great story. It is based on a true story, and the Iditarod is actually a real race that is done in Alaska. Thank you.